There we go. Phone's on Do Not Disturb because you know, the day that I don't put it on Do Not Disturb is the day that I'm going to get a phone call. So, hello. I am Connie from Faff Designs. I am a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle Paint, and I'm live at on my weekly slot on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. So I am live here every single week, showcasing some paint, hi Jackie, paint, home decor, DIY, upcycling, all the kinds of things. And this week I am really excited because I have a green that I've been waiting for. So, you all know that I am a huge fan of the brand new Terra Clay Paint that Dixie Belle have released. If you haven't got your hands on it yet, you have to go to your local retailer. So you can only get it from a Dixie Belle retailer at the moment. So find one of those. If there isn't one local to you, go online and find one that you can support and buy their products from. Lots and lots off of shipping. And that's just not in the US, that's in the UK as well. So that's where you can get Terra Clay Paint from. So when Dixie Belle sent me the Terra Clay Paint, there were a few colours that they were kind of waiting for. And one of those was called Pistachio. And I've got it here. I mean, if you know me or follow me or may have followed me for not even that long, you probably will know that green is my all-time favourite colour to paint with. I could paint in green every single day and I would be happy. I mean, I probably miss some of the other colours as well. Basically, I like a lot of colour. This one is, I have not even used it, and I know it's going to be my favourite. It's going to be my favourite Terra Clay Paint colour in the whole range. So there's 18 colours, I think, in the Terra Clay Paint range. Don't even ask me to name them, because that's not happening. No. All I know is this is called Pistachio. And it's lush. So this little table behind is actually painted in Mojave. Mojave? Out of the Silk paint range. So Silk all-in-one mineral paint is probably the polar opposite to Terra Clay Paint. It's probably the furthest away from Terra Clay Paint that you can get. So Silk all-in-one mineral paint gives you a very smooth, sleek, sort of factory finish, if you like. It's great for one colour finishes. That's not to say that you can't do special effects with it. You can, but it's great for a one colour finish. It's very hard wearing. It's got a built-in stain blocking primer. It's got a built-in top coat, so you can paint this on and it's done. It's a very quick and easy paint to use. I have undercoated this table in this colour, not because it needs an undercoat. It doesn't, by any stretch of the imagination. Terra can go over lots and lots of different surfaces absolutely fine. But I plan on using a lot of water and distressing, and I kind of want this palette. So here, what I've got is a few different kind of yellows and greens, and I'm hopefully going to make lots and lots of colours in between those colours, if that makes sense, by mixing them on here. So the thing with Terra is that it's basically the polar opposite of Silk. So it definitely needs sealing. You can reactivate it with water. Even if you leave this to dry for like days and then you come back and spray it, as long as you haven't sealed it, you can reactivate it. So it's great for blending and loads of different effects. So I've got a colour palette here. I'm going to show you the different colours. I've got Daffodil. I've got Wheat. I've got Moonbeam. Not sure I'm going to use it, but I've got it. I've also got Prairie Dawn. Not sure I'm going to use it, but I've got it. I've also got Malachite. Hi, Sandy. Hello. Good morning to you. Well, it's afternoon here, but morning where you are. Malachite, which is a close second to Pistachio. This is green as well. what other colours have I got? Wheat, daffodil, oh, and of course, pistachio. So I'm just going to start. I don't really have any, where have I put my, oh, it's there. You need one of these to open the tubs of Terra. And I don't really have any set plans. All I know is that I want it green. I want it kind of blendy. I want a kind of layered, blendy kind of look. So I'm going to start mapping out some colours on here. We aren't going to get it finished today, but I just can't contain my excitement of using pistachio. So I'm going to concentrate up here, because obviously you can't see down here. That would be silly if I was working down here and, you know, you won't be able to see it. So what I do have is a load of natural bristle brushes. Look at all those bad boys. I really like this brush. This is called the Belle brush, and it's obviously a natural bristle brush, and I just like it. Brushes are kind of personal preference. I like using natural bristle brushes with Terra. It is a no rules paint, so there really aren't any rules. It's really hard to do a tutorial on Terra paint because it's one of those paints that you kind of, I could do this and someone else could do exactly the same and it'd probably come out different. It's one of those. It's a very creative kind of paint. So basically this is just come along and watch me paint. That's all it is. It's not really a, you must do this, you must do that. It's exactly the same as putting this silk underneath. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that with Terra. I wanted to do it because it just gives me a nice blank canvas underneath. The wood of this piece wasn't particularly nice, so I've just given it this, like a blank canvas of this mauve colour. Because I can. Because there are no rules. You can also undercoat with chalk mineral paint. So if you have watched I've done a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start off with malachite and I'm just going to map out some areas that I want this darker green. If you've watched any of the videos on my YouTube channel, you will have seen that it obviously reactivates with water. So if you leave wood exposed underneath, so you know, you as you normally would on a piece, say for example I hadn't put my heart under here, I'd gone straight in with just the standard prep work, cleaning, a light scuff sand, and then I'd gone straight in with Terra. If I distress this, either by wet distressing or sanding, traditional way of using, you know, a sandpaper to distress, this paint distresses so well. It wet distresses, it sands back, it works so beautifully for like more kind of layered distressed finishes. It works really well. But if I'd have done that without putting my heart underneath, you would have seen the wood peeking through, because it just keeps basically being reactivated with water. So this way, I'm hoping that you might see little peeps of the mauve poking through, as opposed to wood. That's why I've done it. So that when this does get distressed or whatever I'm going to do, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't know. It's just one of those that I'm going to crack on with it and just see what happens. So this paint is not self-leveling. It's a very, very thick consistency. I don't want to tip it too much. I'll tip the camera that way. There we go. It's a very thick consistency. Very, very thick. Sort of like a chocolate mousse consistency. And it's not self-leveling at all. It doesn't want to be level. It wants to hold its texture. So it's definitely a paint for more decorative effects, I would say. That's not to say that you couldn't paint an entire piece in one colour. You absolutely can. If I wanted to just paint this all malachite, that'd be fine. You can. It'd probably unless you know, you really sanded it in between coats or whatever, you probably never really get it as smooth as, you know, silk, for example, or the chalk mineral paint, because they are both self-leveling paints. Whereas this one wants to hold a bit of its texture. But you can absolutely do a piece using one colour. You don't have to do lots and lots of different colours. It's just that different paints lend themselves better to different effects. Here goes, guys. This is literally the first time I've used this colour. I'm saving it for you. Saving the first time for you. Oh, look at it. I just want to eat it. But I'm not gonna. But it's just so lovely. Right, we're going to smudge some of this in. Oh, yeah. Hello. That colour. I don't think I'd ever get bored of that. Oh, goodness. That is absolutely gorgeous. So at this point, I'm not going to start blending colours. I'm going to just kind of map them out and get them on. This paint dries super quick, really, really quick. Just a little dog making their way outside. You okay? Yeah, don't mind me. Just trying to work. So already you can see where it's overlapping. It's just creating loads of different colours in between. So you've got the malachite, the pure malachite, which is the darker green. You've got the pistachio, which is obviously the beautiful green. And then you've got all this kind of stuff going on in between. Love it. Right, let's open another colour. Let's get another colour in the mix. This is fun, isn't it? I'm going for, oh, I nearly dropped that. I'm going for wheat. So this is definitely a more muted yellow. And I'll show you the comparison between. So this is daffodil, which is a bright zingy yellow, and that's wheat. So it's a much more kind of, just trying to get it so the light catches it. That's much more of a muted tone. So I'm going to, all of this, I'm using clean brushes every time for now. I'm going to add a little bit of the wheat in the middle. I am going for loads of texture on this. Loads of texture. Can you see kind of the way I'm going with this? I think, I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But this is definitely the colour palette that I want. I want some greens and some yellows and some limes. Just going to catch that edge under there. The other ace thing about this paint is if you leave it to go dry on your brush, not a problem, because it just reactivates the water, so you don't ever wreck your paintbrushes, which is excellent. Oh, the colours are just a dream. Just an absolute dream. And when you do introduce water, which I'm not going to do on this coat, heading into my office, close the door and watch you. Thanks. When you do start to introduce water, which I'm hopefully going to do in a second, I'm going to try and get another coat on this. You'll just see it all kind of melt together. And if you follow me on social media, you'll have seen this morning that got a brand new pair of Crocs. Look at the colour. If they're not trefoil green, I don't know what is, to be honest. And anybody that says they're not a fan of Crocs, don't even start. These These are the way forward, I'm telling you now. I've got a bit of dirt here. It's nice. Okay, so what do we do now? What do we do now? Is it dry? It's pretty much dry. That's how quick it dries. So drying time varies depending on how thick you put it on. Obviously the thicker application is going to take a longer time to dry than a thinner application. This little table has got another, it's got another drawer down here. Shall we do this one while we're just waiting for that to dry? So I'm going to kind of follow the same kind of thing. I'm just going to place some of the darker green, the malachite, kind of around the edges. I was very quiet then, wasn't I? I wasn't concentrating. I was just taking in how absolutely stunning this colour is. All the colours, all of the things. Oh, it's so pretty. Yep, I'm painting over the handles. Don't you come for me. If you just wanted to blend two greens together, these two colours are gorgeous. All the like in-betweeny shades, it's not picking it up too well on the camera, but all the in-betweeny shades are absolutely stunning. Touch of the old wheat, kind of a splodge. So I'm not looking here for a perfect blend. That's not my bag. It's going to be a little bit more kind of bohemian looking. I throw that word around quite a lot, but I feel like that covers quite a broad spectrum. So obviously I'm using the wheat colour as almost like the highlighter right in the centre, and that's just bringing the pistachio colour up a little bit and just making it even lighter. There's like a lighter, a lighter version of pistachio, really. So I've said this in my other videos, you really don't have to be artistic to get an artistic finish with this paint. It kind of just works. It just all kind of smudges together and works and makes you look like an artist, even though you might not be, because I'm definitely not. But this paint just kind of it just does magic things. All right, I have no technical explanation. It's magic. Okay, Terra Paint is magic. I don't know what Dixie Belle have done, how they've done it, but it's essentially magic. Gonna start calling myself Picasso Clark. At the minute, no water has been used. Just using this completely dry, because I don't even know if I am going to use water, if I'm honest, because it kind of gives you this, like, I'll bring you in for a closer look. We'll experiment with a bit of water. Let's see what happens. I'm actually liking it without water. So can you see, whoa, easy. Sorry for anyone that gets travel sick. Can you see here how it's kind of smushing all the colours together and it's kind of dry brushing all the layers together? I kind of like it, but let's see what happens when we pop some water on it. You do not need a lot of water with this paint. This is going to give a more seamless... Oh, it's pretty with water as well, guys. Oh, it's just so lovely. I mean, hello. Hello, Picasso. What's that all about? It's... Boom. Done. We're done. We're done. Mic drop. Look at that. Can you see? Where are you? There you go. Look how that has just all melted together without losing any vibrancy. You can still see pistachio. You can still see malachite, but you've got the middle bit where it's kind of all smushed together and made a in-betweeny shade. And it's just stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. It shouldn't be this fun. No, it should. It absolutely should. It absolutely should. I'm having far too much fun here. I'm not even kidding when I say I've been waiting so long for this colour. So long. Every single sample colour they sent me wasn't pistachio. I had purple, and whilst, you know, the elderberry colour is very beautiful, you know that I am all about my greens, blues, turquoises. So when I got this, it actually arrived when I was on holiday. So when I got this, I was like, and I've waited this long, so I wanted to play with you. I wanted to open the pistachio. So if you struggle with blending, if you panic and it makes you sweat, sometimes blending makes me sweat because I get panicky. I'm like, oh, paint's going to dry, it's not going to blend, it's going to look rubbish. If you struggle with that, you need Terra Clay Paint in your life, because no matter how long you leave this bad boy to dry, you can come back, spritz of water, reactivate it, and all is good. Also, I watched a live with Tracy on, I don't know when it was in the World of Chalk Paint group on Facebook, and she had left her tub out on purpose, one of her tubs, and there's obviously paint in the lid of the tub, and it had all kind of started cracking and chipping and peeling away. And if you apply your paint really thickly with like a spatula or a palette knife or one of the Dixie Belle plastic spatulas, it's going to give you that cracked, chippy effect. So that went on the to-do list to try, because it looked really authentic. This again is just a little bit of wheat in the centre to highlight. And then I've got a clean, dry Bestang brush that I'm going to just kind of swirl around. I'm not sure what happened here. We went a little bit crazy with the old malachite there. Don't want that much malachite. So you can play around with it, you can smudge it around. Still too much malachite there. But I haven't got a rag, so I can't take it off the brush. And let's try. So can you see where I've started using a lot of water? You can start to see the mauve peek through underneath. If I'd have left that, the dark wood colour, that colour would have shown through underneath. So that's why I wanted to give it that undercoat, because of how kind of, it's not, this paint is quite unpredictable. So I didn't want it to kind of have patches of wood. Pistachio! Yeah, exactly. It's the best colour in the world, and that's not up for debate. It's not a question, it's a statement, okay? Okay. So you can just smush it around, and whereas other paints in the range, so even the chalk mineral paint to a certain degree will start drying down, and you'll start to get a little bit of texture, which obviously, you know, you can reactivate the chalk mineral paint. It's got a certain window where you can keep it wet, but if you do let it sort of start to dry, sometimes it's quite hard to bring it back, and then you have to go in with another layer. This you can just keep playing around with, and it just doesn't dry down till it's sealed. It just doesn't kind of stop being something that you can play around with. If you did want it sort of a more dry brushed effect, then I would just say leave this to dry for half an hour, especially if it's quite warm where you are. Leave it to dry down for half an hour or so, and then start going back in with some layers. It's when you introduce water with this paint that it starts to reactivate. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. So yeah, I'm just also looking at what it looks like on camera. It looks slightly different on camera than what it does in real life, but you get the idea, you get the gist of it. And like I say, I'm just playing around with stuff at this stage. You can also get this paint to drip. Shall we have a drippy moment? Where can we get it to drip from? Let's try and... Don't think there's enough paint. And if you haven't seen Melissa from the Top Drawer RVA and her drippy flowers tutorial, you need to go and look, because she has done some roses, hand painted roses, and they look phenomenal. And she did it all with Terra Clay Paint. The reason I looked up then is because I've got my camera recording and it just said change the battery pack, which it slightly annoying. But yeah, you get the idea. That is just 3 colours, easy 3 colour blend. You can do so much with this paint. Honestly, it's one of those paints where you can keep going and keep going and keep going and having the time of your life with it. And a little bit goes a long way. I've still got the original sample pots that I got sent months and months ago from Dixie Belle. And they are teeny little pots, not even half the size of these bigger ones. And I've still got loads left in them. It does last a long time. It lasts an absolute age. So you can kind of see what I'm doing with this. It's green. It's all the things. A bit blendy, a bit drippy, a bit layered. So I'm going to keep going. And I'm just going to keep adding layers and taking away and smudging it all together and dripping it and seeing what happens and seeing where I get to. And this will be on my YouTube channel this weekend. So even if you just want to come and watch the process and see what I come up with, that would be awesome if you could do that. I'd love it if you could head over to my YouTube channel, just search for Faff Designs and subscribe. That would be ace as well. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there today, I think, because you kind of get the gist of where I'm going. So I'll be back next week at the same time with a different project. In the meantime, like I say, head over to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to it, because I do go live every week on my own YouTube channel. The days vary at the minute because the kids are at home for the summer, but they'll be going back to school in a couple of weeks or so. So I'll be nailing down a day that I'll go live on my own YouTube channel every week, the same day, same time, same day. So hopefully I'll see a few more of you over there. And also subscribe to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel, because I'm here every week on a Tuesday. Thank you, Sam. You have an awesome day too. And yeah, catch you all next week. Bye. Thank you for watching.